Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this video. Now today is actually the first part of a brand new series. Yes, you heard it here, it is a brand new series and I'm calling it the Grateful series. Now you're probably wondering why Grateful? Now I call this the Grateful series because I, like a lot of people, I love television and movies. All around my room is dedicated to films, TV shows, and anime and manga. Now, I'm grateful for these things for existing and sort of developing me into the person that I am today. And not to mention of the people in my life that I am grateful for as well, because they are what truly define a person. Like, the things that people enjoy, the people that we associate ourselves with, or just friends, family, and all that sort of malarkey or whatever. And I wanted to make a series dedicating that to the people, things, and places that I have been in my life so far, as I'm nearly 21, and I wanted to start off this series with with probably a big task for me. Now, when 2020 hit and we were all forced into lockdown, I wanted to do something during this time. And obviously I was doing my normal thing during lockdown, but there was one series that I'd never touched upon, never watched a single episode, never read a single chapter in its manga serialization, and that is One Piece. We are on the cruise. We are. But as of recording this video, there are currently 1,005 chapters available to read, and this mammoth of a series has been going on for the past 20 years, nearly 25 years. And holy Hannibal Lecter, it's probably the most brilliant anime I've ever watched. And I started my anime journey watching Dragon Ball, and I love that series to bits. I love it. Some parts I hate, Dragon Ball GT, but yeah, this first part is going to be about One Piece. Now, when we went into lockdown, I spoke to one of my work colleagues, and he mentioned to me One Piece. He had read all the manga chapters, he had watched all the anime up until the point that I'd asked him. And I started in, I'd say, early March 2020. And holy crap, was I in store for what happened. Oh, actually no, I wasn't in store for what happened, because even to this day, watching 965 episodes, it still surprises me and still has me so excited. And I'm happy to say that I managed to watch. I watched all 965 episodes available on Crunchyroll. I watched all them episodes, and I can say it's brilliant. Now, I am primarily an English dub watcher of many anime. I watched the English dub of Attack on Titan, Dragon Ball, One Punch Man, My Hero Academia, and many more to mention. But I started with the Funimation dub of One Piece, and I can understand why it gets some criticism. But I'm not here to talk about criticism, that's for another time, but why did I love One Piece and why did I start it? Primarily I needed something to do. I know that sounds a bit bad, but either way I would have started One Piece soon enough. Even if it wasn't in lockdown, my friend would have still suggested it to me and I would have still been watching to this day. But as Aichiro Oda was heading towards chapter 1000, and obviously hit chapter 1000 in January of 2020, not 2020, 2021, keep getting dates confused, but I said to my friend, you know what, I'm going to try and watch all the episodes up to date before chapter 1000 came out. And I did it but my sleeping pattern truly went out the window. Now, with the characters of One Piece, they are most definitely some of the more interesting characters. And I watched, as I was going through these episodes, Eiichiro Oda likes to do this thing of laying things out and then just paying them off in a couple of hundred episodes. Primarily being the one I'm going to mention right off the bat, Dressrosa. In Dressrosa, there is a little kingdom of Tintatas, and they celebrate a man called Noland. And that was in like episode 600. I can't remember. Somewhere in episode 600. But if you go all the way back to like episode 140, there's a book titled Noland the Liar. And in the book, it says that there was a kingdom of small people, and the Tintatas are small people, and you realise that Noland was in Dressrosa. And it blew my mind. Like, the level of patience that Oda has to do this and just set things up that he won't set up for a long time. Now, with when the manga was coming out, and obviously when that scene happened in the manga with Dressrosa realising that they found the kingdom that Nola found back in Jaya, that was 10 years ago. There was 10 years between when they first mentioned the kingdom of small people in Jaya, and then 10 years later, it's mentioned again in Dressrosa. That is insane levels of patience and dedication that Oda has to his whole universe of One Piece. Now, even with stuff like that, Oda likes to delve deep into his characters, and that is more prominent than the Straw Hats themselves, and primarily Monkey D. Luffy. Luffy is a brilliant protagonist for a show like One Piece. Like, he's pretty much a big child. He essentially is I think he's like 19 years old, post time skip. So, just like, he still acts like he's 7. And I feel like that's the sort of thing One Piece needed. Oda I feel like he got the inspiration from Goku in Dragon Ball, like where, for example, Kid Goku would just run off and do whatever he wanted, and literally like everyone else would lay out a plan, Goku would just go headfirst into it, and that's pretty much the same with Luffy. I remember from Enies Lobby, everyone has like a plan to get to the top of the roof, and Luffy just goes straight to the top. Like, it's like that. And again, in Amazon Lily, he just, like, he's got such a naivety when it comes to just standard things, but when it comes to fighting strong opponents, he's basically Albert Einstein when it comes to fighting. But when it's like, you know, whether ripping his mast off his own ship to plant it into a friggin' whale, you just think, how are these two personality traits the same person? And the same is with everyone else, like Zoro, Usopp, Sanji, Nami, Chopper, Robin, Frankie, Brook. They're all the ones that try and, like, you know, humanize everything. And obviously with Chopper, his cuteness factor is very prominent. Brook with his skull jokes, Frankie by saying super, Usopp with his lies, Sanji with his cooking, Zoro with his swordsmanship, Robin with trying to figure out what happened between the Void Century, and Nami just being a navigator and sort of like the mama hen to everyone. They all have their personality traits, and they all bounce off each other really well, and that's what makes One Piece such a brilliant series. Mainly as well with the animation, music, voice actors. Now, I didn't realise this until I was like a couple hundred episodes deep, and my friend said to me, "Oh, have you watched the English sub?" And I said, "No, I haven't." And he said, "Listen to Chopper's voice in the Japanese version, and you'll recognise something if you've watched another anime." And I said, "Okay." And I didn't realise this until about a couple hundred episodes in, when I'd watched an episode in the sub version after I watched it in the dub. Chopper is voiced by the woman who is Pikachu from Pokemon. And Pokemon was such a big part of my childhood. And I'll be honest, that did blow my mind. Blew my mind entirely. But then, obviously, when I watched the Funimation dub of One Piece, I was sort of already happy with the voices anyway, because with Funimation, they like to use the same cast, essentially, or the same voice actors, but for different roles. So, for example, the English voice actor of Luffy, voiced by the amazing Colleen Clickenbeard, is actually young Gohan from Dragon Ball Z Kai, which, fair enough, that's good. Same with Zoro, who is voiced by Christopher Sabat, who is Vegeta, Piccolo, and Yamcha. Usopp, played by Sonny Strait, who is actually Krillin. Eric Vale, who is Sanji and Trunks. Brook, being voiced by Ian Sinclair, is the voice of Whis in Dragon Ball Super. And I believe Brianna, I cannot say her last name, but Brianna, the voice of Chopper for the English dub, is I think it's like Puar and Puar in Dragon Ball. So they do keep the cast relatively the same. I could literally go on for hours about who the different voice casts are from different animes, but if that's how Funimation want to do it, then fair enough. I honestly cannot put into words how much I love this series and how much it has meant to me over the last couple of months. It took me 8 months to watch all of One Piece, but obviously the English dub hasn't actually reached episode 965 in Wano. It's currently still at episode 680 as of recording this video. So it's still got 300 episodes to English dub. And obviously the series isn't even done yet. They're still in Wano. And I have to say, some of my favourite arcs are still being made. Like Wano, for example. That's still, they're still doing it in the manga. They're still doing it in the Japanese version. And it is probably one of my favourite arcs. Wano arc is just amazing in nearly every way. And I actually, I just love the Wano arc. There's no way else of putting it. And some other of my favourite arcs being Whole Cake Island and Dressrosa, them being the longest arcs in the entire series, with Whole Cake Island being 95 episodes and Dressrosa being a whopping 118 episodes. That blows my mind, literally. But then there are some good arcs as well, like the Reverie, which is only 12 episodes or 6 manga chapters. It's short, but it's brilliant. Same with Reverse Mountain, and some short, slightly longer arcs being Reverse Mountain, Drum Island, Whiskey Peak, and Little Garden, which then becomes the Alabasta arc, and then the whole Alabasta saga from Reverse Mountain to the end of Alabasta. There is so much, and I do highly recommend this series. I really, really do. I cannot put into words how much I love this series and how much people should read, watch. It's just brilliant, and I honestly can't put into words how much it definitely made me feel during 2020, being the terrible year that it was. I'm so glad that I actually got into the story, and I can say that I managed to watch all of it before Chapter 1000 came out. It was a long task, and it took me 8 months, but I'm glad that I did it, and I'm still watching it week to week with the anime. And to anyone who hasn't actually watched One Piece or even read a single manga or watched a single episode of One Piece, I do highly recommend you pick it up. I know with certain aspects of anime that does put people off, but to be honest, as much as those tropes distaste some people, it's definitely worth a watch. I had to have a notebook, and I've got it somewhere, I don't know where it is, but I've got a notebook of notes from oh, this episode had this, and this, and it was paid off in this episode. And It's just brilliant. Please watch it. It's really good. But these are my general thoughts anyway, and just how I feel about it. Obviously, if it's not your cup of tea, it's not your cup of tea. But that's all I really have to say for One Piece now. It's a really brilliant show, and I hope it does continue for a couple more years, even though the author has stated that he will be ending the series soon. And to be honest, I feel like I'm glad to say that I got to a point where I was able to watch it before it ended. Like, it's been out since 1997, 3 years before even I was born, and it's here now at chapter 1000, being the most popular manga serial of all time. That's all I have to say for now. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, leave a like and a comment in the comment section below. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys very soon.